Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about how to care for your luxury bags, whether they're small leather goods, bags, etc. This is actually a requested video. A subscriber and my friend Nubia requested this because she is new to this world and does not really know how to care for these fabrics, these materials. And so I thought this was a great suggestion. And so I thought I would put this together. Now, I do have a lot of this written down because there's so much in here that I just can't remember it all. So I do have it written down. I apologize if my reading it is kind of distracting, but I had to write it down because I can't remember all of it. So I'm going to start with the this is the Louis Vuitton Damier Ebene or Ebene. Again, I'm terrible at French, so please do not come at me for that. The brush, the canvas, and this is not the natural leather. So I tend to lean towards this print because this has the rolled leather, it's not the natural. So I don't have to worry about it getting weird or gross or anything like that. And it doesn't bother me if it gets patinaed, but I would worry if something spilled on it. So that said, the easiest way, this is an easy canvas to care for. It is the workhorse of their line for a reason, because you can essentially run it over with a truck and it'll be fine. You can brush it off or, wipe it off and it'll be fine. I don't recommend you run it over a truck. Please don't test that. It is what it is. But it is a popular material for a reason, and that is because it's a workhorse. So that said, you want to make sure that you keep, and this goes for any bag, any material, you want to keep it away from your acetones, perfumes, lotions, hand sanitizers, alcohols, anything like that. Any type of I use your words. Any type of that type of material is going to affect your bag. And apologize, my other cat came in. Last time I had Bullet, this time I have Catapult, because as soon as I start filming, they need to be in here. My dog is at daycare today, so she's not in here. So apologies if you see the tail, that's Catapult wandering around, and I suspect her brother will venture in here too as well. So anyway, you want to keep your bags away from any type of chemicals and cleaners, and even leather lotions. If you want to get it a deep clean with a leather conditioner, I would suggest taking it to a reputable handbag spa for luxury brands. They are out there, they do exist. So don't try to do that by yourself, because if you ruin it or something happens, you get a spot on it, the repair facilities at Louis Vuitton and Chanel, they're not going to repair it. Hermes, same thing. They won't repair it. If you do anything to it to cause that damage, they're not going to repair that for you. So, you really just want to make sure that, you can just brush this guy off with a microfiber cloth. And this is the one I grabbed. You can wet it a little bit. Don't put anything on it though. So you can just rub it, wipe it off a little bit. And it comes off pretty good. These are workhorses. This material stays pretty clean, even when your cat's trying to put it in their mouth. So that's this canvas here. I also have that in the cosmetic pouch. And I get this pattern because A, I like it, but B, it's easy to care for, and I don't really want to have to worry about getting anything wet. If I'm out in the rain and I get stuck in the rain, I don't want to have to worry about it if my bags get wet and it gets marked. So if you have the natural leather, and that's the vachetta or vachetta, however you pronounce it, leather, that's the natural that's on the monogram, a lot of the monogram prints, and the DA, the Damier Azur print from Louis Vuitton. Again, sorry, my cat's a little distracting. She wants to be loved now. So I know that this leather over the course of time, with your hand, with your oils, the natural oils in your body, in your hand, that's going to patina, and that's okay. There are people that don't like that, and that's okay too, but it's going to patina over time, and so that's perfectly acceptable. I know there are a lot of people that don't want their leather to get that bad, get that patinaed, I should say, not that bad. It's that dark color with the patina. I like it. It adds a nice vintage touch to it, and to me it looks more natural. I don't want that bright untouched, untarnished, not untarnished, but you know what I mean, leather. It always looks brand new, and it doesn't look like you ever use the bag. I use my bags. I'm that person when I travel. If I'm not traveling with my laptop and I got this guy with me, or the London tote, I put it under the seat. It's a handbag. It's meant to be used. Now, granted, obviously, I'm not going to take my Chanel, iridescent, or just a Chanel bag in general and shove it under the seat. I'm going to have a little more care with that because it's a little more delicate. But I use my bags. I don't want to have to worry about the leathers and those things getting dirty, which is why I tend to lean towards materials that if I do get them wet, they're easily cleanable. So, the natural leathers, it's easily scratched, but it does get a nice rich patina to it, and it will get greater, more supple over time the more you use it. So you want to allow that to naturally darken. The more you naturally darken that with your own body oils, then the less susceptible it's going to become to staining. It's not saying it won't stain, it will stain. They just won't be as obvious because you've got it patinaed. See, that's a win-win. If it does get water on it, you want to blot it with a lint-free colored absorbent cloth. I'm sorry. You don't want to use your solvents. Don't use any chemical solvents. Do not use, please, for the love of God, do not use the Mr. Clean erasers. I've seen people recommend you do that. Don't do that. Those clean your stove and your bathroom and all those things for a reason. That's why we use them for those. Don't take them to your natural leathers and your luxury bags. Don't do that. Please don't do that. So that's how to take care of your natural leather. You can also wrap it in a twilly. I suck at that. I'm terrible at tying those. I can't do it. And so I don't do it. But if I've seen some gorgeous wraps, I wish I was smart enough and good enough to do that, but I can't. So you can also wrap the natural leather handles with the twilly, and they look fabulous, and that keeps them clean. A lot of people do that on their Hermes bags as well, and for good reason, obviously. So for your Chanel bags, Chanel's bags are made up of so many materials. You got your calfskin, your lambskin, tweed, shearling, other fabrics, even exotics, which I don't believe they've been making since 2018. So there are so many materials. So you just want to make sure that you're keeping everything clean. Same thing. Make sure you keep the oils and the perfumes and the creams and your sanitizers and all that just away from your bags. You can clean it with a soft, damp cloth. Again, just a microfiber cloth, but damp, not soaking wet, and just kind of rub it in a circular motion. That takes it off. One thing you need to kind of be careful about is the lighter, your lighter purses, the lighter purse colors, in your Chanel's and Dior, especially your patent leather, the lighter patents. You can get the fabric staining on the bag if you're wearing like a dark colored jeans or pants or shirt. Those can color transfer onto your bag, and that is very, very difficult to get off if that happens. It's also the reason that I tend to lean towards the darker colored bags, because if I do have color transfer, it's not quite as noticeable. And again, I don't want to have to worry about color transfer. I buy regular normal jeans. They're not cheap, but obviously the more expensive the clothing you're wearing, the less color transfer you're going to get. It's just the nature of the beast, really. So you just need to be careful on your color transfer. If you're wearing a lighter colored bag and you're wearing it crossbody, or just against a dark colored material, that can transfer onto the back of your bag over the course of time, and you won't notice it until a couple months later, and you pick it up and, oh, there's discoloration. It's color transfer. So just be mindful of that as well. And you want to protect them from a lot of exposure to sunlight, artificial light, and humidity. Do not store your bags in a plastic bag in a humid area. Don't store them in a plastic bag in general, but also do not store them in a plastic bag in a humid area. They will peel, they will discolor, and they will get ruined. And the Louis Vuitton or Chanel or Hermes is not going to fix that for you. There are several spas out there and leather stores that you can take them to. that will do that. I don't know if they'll get if they'll give you back what you need and they're using the right products. I don't know. I'm not, don't come at me. I've never sent a bag out to be repaired because I haven't ruined any, so I haven't had to do that. But they do exist if that happens to occur, if you're storing it in a humid area in a plastic bag. I don't know why you would do that, but there you go. So, your classic Chanel care is, again, you've got lambskin, you've got the caviar leather, calfskin, goatskin, tweeds, fabrics, shearlings, etc. So caviar is the more robust of their leathers. It's pebbled leather. It's a little more durable. I do not have any caviar leather to show you, otherwise I would, but it's a little more durable, which is why a lot of people lean towards that, is just because of the durability of it, but you still have to take care of it. So again, you want to keep it away from water, perfumes, oils, and avoid scratching. So my coin purse, this is lambskin, but as I said in the video that I did on this, I still have the protective plastic on the logo because I don't want it to scratch. I don't know if it's really super obvious when I'm taking it out or when people are looking at it. I don't really care. I don't want that to scratch, so I've left it on there. Will I take it off? Eventually, I probably will. But to clean this, and this is a delicate leather because it is a lambskin. So you just want to make sure that, you've got a nice microfiber cloth and you can just rub out, if you've got any little surface dust or stains, you want to brush it with, microfiber. And that's because microfiber is very, very soft. So again, keep it away from water, perfumes, oils, and you don't want them to rub against the raw, dark materials. And the metallic, if you've got a metallic bag, that coating can fade over time. So just be aware of that. That's not a defect. That's just time. That metallic will fade. So you've got the tweed, the denim, velvet, canvas, all of those things. And in order to care for those, you just really want to use a fabric brush, a soft one, to clean it with. You want to brush that over that material. I do have a fabric bag as Prada, but I'm currently using that, so it's actually out in my living room, and I didn't think to bring that in here to show that to you. But that is a canvas bag, and that's how I clean it. I just use a little, not a lint brush, but just a nice fabric brush, and that takes off, any surface hair. I do have pets, so I hair. So you can get liners for the interior of your bag and organizers. So if you do have spills or you're prone to spillage in your bags and you don't want to ruin that interior, you can get one. I have one for my Speedy. This is the Speedy B30, the Speedy B30, and I have an organizer in there, and it probably has something in there from when I last used it. It does. It has a straw and Purell wipe. So I do have that in this bag, and it keeps the interior nice and clean. Now, I can take this out, and I have, depending on how I'm using it, if I'm traveling. But you can get an organizer. Zumoni and Smorga both have great organizers for these bags, Chanel bags. They're all over, and they just keep your bags nice and neat if you're prone to spillage. And then to store your bag, this is going to be a do as I say, not as I do type of situation, because as you can see, a lot of my bags are behind me and they're not in their storage bags. You should store it in its bag with an acid-free tissue paper, if you have that. I'm kind of bad. I'll use regular tissue paper, but I also use these little, the little stuffies that come in shipments, because it's just paper. It's not going to do anything. So I will use those just to help it maintain its shape. And you don't want to stretch your bag, right? You don't want to overfill it. You don't want to overstuff it. See, there's bullet. You don't want to overstuff it. Also, people ask me if my cats bother my bags, and I always say no. And yet here he is trying to get in there and check things out. Are you guys leaving now? You've done okay. Okay, bye. Thanks for stopping in. So you want to store it away from direct sunlight, away from extreme temperatures, heat, cold, etc. Do not overstuff it. And for the Chanel bags, you want to roll the chains, if they're chain handle, in tissue paper and then store that inside the bag. Now, again, as I said, do as I say, not as I do. This is my Chanel 19, clearly not stored in its bag, in its dust bag, clearly not stored, you know, with tissue paper wrapped around the chain, because I have the chain out. But inside of it, I do have, so I do have the, I've got like a little tissue paper pack. And then I also keep its dust bag in here too. So right or wrong, for storage purposes, it's not overstuffed. It's just enough to keep its shape. Okay, so you don't want to overstore it or overstuff it. Even when you're carrying it, you don't want to overstuff it. I don't carry a whole lot of stuff in here. I also do not have an organizer for this. They do make them. I don't have one, but you can get an organizer for this if you want to keep it, you know, keep the inside clean. I'm very persnickety. I have everything in pouches, so if anything gets ruined, it's going to be the inside of a pouch, I suppose. So, but you do want to wrap this in an acid-free tissue paper, the chain, and again, it's got the leather on here because it's the 19, and then store that inside the bag. But again, that's to do as I say, not as I do. And I'm going to put that back there, and I'll fix that later. Again, so that's, I mean, that's the basics, you know. Don't overstuff it. Don't put, you know, keep acids, oils, perfumes, chemical cleaners off of it. Don't use a Mr. Clean eraser on your stuff. Don't do that. And try to, you know, do your best to keep it out of rain if you have the natural leathers. I know, like, the Hermes bags come with little raincoats that you can put on them. I'm lazy. I won't do that, so I won't carry those if it's raining. I'm not going to carry that kind of a bag outside if I know the weather's going to turn or if it's going to get rainy or wet, etc. So if you do that, you're going to get a nice life on your bags. Don't store it in extreme temperatures. Don't store it anywhere where it's humid. Don't store it in direct sunlight or direct artificial light. Keep it in its pouch. They say to keep it in the dust bags. Now, I will say that, you know, leather is leather. It needs to breathe. It's a natural material. So I will kind of rotate. I'll store it in a bag and then I'll take it out to breathe for a little bit. Mine generally stay behind me in this case, and I have another case. So that's where mine stay. I've not had any issues with them turning, changing colors, fading, getting dirty. They all stay nice and clean. I'm very good with about that with my bags, despite the fact that, yes, I use my bags. I put my Speedy Bee under the seat in front of me when I fly. It's just what I do. I need to be able to get to my stuff. So if you do that and you follow those rules, you'll get a nice life on your bags, and you won't have to worry about damage. Obviously, there are plenty of resources out there. They do tend to come, you know, the authenticity cards also generally include a care card as well with your purchase, so you know how to care for your bags and your small leather goods. So I hope that you enjoyed that video. Again, that was a request. If there is anything you would like me to film, please leave your request below, and I'm happy to do that. As long as I have the ability to do so, I will. So thanks again, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.